What's up, guys? True Crime King back. Hope everybody's doing well on this Thursday, July 27th, 2023. All right, we're gonna be talking about this U.S. Marine, right, that defected to North Korea. Yeah. He actually chose to leave the United States and abandon his country and his fellow brothers and run across the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. That's crazy. You know, he doesn't even know what's going to happen to him. For all we know, he's in a prison camp right now. That's probably the stupidest thing you could do. Defect to North Korea, right? I mean, in my opinion, right? Let me know in the comments if you would choose to defect to North Korea. But this guy had some problems, so we're gonna talk about them now. But I'm going to read this article from NPR. All right. A U.S. soldier who crossed into North Korea on Tuesday did so willfully and without authorization, according to U.S. and international officials. He's now believed to be in the custody of North Korean armed forces. The man, whom a U.S. Army spokesperson identified as Travis King, was a private second class who'd been released recently from a detention center in South Korea. Now, private first class, for being in the Army for as long as this guy has, well over a year, that's not, he should be ranked higher than that by now. But again, this guy has been in trouble multiple times, right? Before he defected, he was in a South Korean prison, which we'll get to. He was scheduled to be flown home to the U.S. when he somehow returned to South Korea, joined a tour group to the demilitarized zone, and ran across the heavily fortified border into North Korea. Here's an overview of what we know, all right? Travis King, he has been a cavalry scout with the U.S. Army since January 2021. Okay, so 2 years, right? 2.5 years. And he's only private second class. So 23-year-old has been stationed in South Korea, but had recently served 2 months in prison there on charges of assault. So obviously he's got problems, right? Which is, I'm speculating, allegedly, that's probably why he defected, because he was going on his way back to America, and he was going to face more punishment for his actions, right? Because just because you serve, time in a prison for violating, South Korean rules, laws, doesn't mean you're not going to get, prison time from the actual army, right? When he gets back to the States. So that's probably what he's running from. South Korean media outlets reported that King had punched a South Korean national in a club last September. He had also been fined 5 million won. It's about $4,000. For causing public damage and being uncooperative with police during his arrest. According to an account from the Chosun Ilbo newspaper, it's South Korean, nobody can pronounce that if you're not from South Korea, but yeah. CHOSUNILBO. Citing legal sources, King yelled obscenities at South Korean police as he kicked the doors and interior of a police vehicle. So it sounds like he was intoxicated. If he wasn't, then he's just stupid, right? Well, he sounds like he's stupid either way. He's definitely stupid. He ran to North Korea. And that demilitarized zone that he ran across between North and South Korea, that's the most heavily guarded border in the world, right? I mean, in the world. CBS News reports that King was released to U.S. officials at the military hub in the country about a week ago. Before bolting into North Korea, King was being escorted to an airport outside of Seoul where he was expected to board a plane bound for Fort Bliss, Texas, to face military disciplinary action. So there you go. He was going to be facing more prison time in America after he served some prison time in South Korea. Officials escorted him through airport security, but King somehow managed to ditch the escort and make his way out of the terminal and back to the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. That is where officials said King, who was dressed in civilian clothes, joined a tour of the Korean border village of Panmunjom. One member of the tour group decided the incident on a now deleted Facebook post, described the incident, saying that King laughed loudly, then ran between two buildings and eventually into North Korea. So he was laughing and running. Sounds to me like he didn't care if he got shot or what, or didn't care what happened to him, right? Sounds like a lunatic. Another told the AP that King was one of 43 tourists in the group and appeared to be traveling alone, dressed casually in jeans and a t-shirt. Well, of course he was alone. He went AWOL from the army. He's on the loose, right? People are looking for him. The U.S. military was looking for him. He made his move at the end of the tour, disappearing between a narrow passageway between the DMZ's famous blue buildings before the soldiers standing guard on the South Korean side had time to respond, said the woman, Sarah Leslie. Leslie said she didn't see any guards on the North Korean side and was told by her tour guides that the army there had decreased its presence at the DMZ since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's still unclear whether King planned his escape into North Korea or whether it was something he did on a whim. Some experts say that the trip just to the demilitarized zone takes days of planning. Okay, well, in my opinion, it had to have been planned, okay? Right? So he was escorted. So when you're escorted to an airport or to an airplane, right? The person that's escorting you can only go so far unless you have a boarding pass. You can, once you get to, where you board, past that, you can't go past that gate unless you have a boarding pass, right? So the person that escorted him, he went as far as he was allowed by law to escort this man, right? I mean, there's nothing else they could have done. right? I guess maybe, I don't know. He went as far as he could without a boarding pass, right? And then the guy, first he had to, change into civilian clothes, okay? Then he had to somehow look up and find out where this tour was, right? Get to it. Obviously, he had to pay for this tour, or look whatever he did. He had to have planned this out, right? This wasn't just on a whim, okay, in my opinion. Okay, if you think it was on a whim, then put it in the comments and let me know why you think it was on a whim, and give me some reasons. Don't just say, "Oh, I think you're wrong." You know what I mean? You back up why you think I'm wrong. But yeah, and just like these experts say, just the trip to get to the demilitarized zone takes days of planning. You got to go through security. I mean, yeah. So, but I think that's the stupidest decision you can make. You're going from the best country in the world to one of the worst countries in the world, if not the worst country in the world, North Korea, right? I mean, only one city in North Korea has electricity, and the electricity shuts off every half hour in Pyongyang. Unless you're, Kim Jong-un, right? He's probably the only man that has power all the time in North Korea. So, I don't know. He's going to get, this guy, Travis King, is going to get what's coming to him either way, right? If he would have just flown back to the United States, he probably would have got, okay, maybe a month in jail, and then he would have been fucking free. Like, now, he just threw away his whole life by doing this, right? And he's in his early 20s. Me personally, I think that's the stupidest thing he could have possibly done, right? I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you haven't heard about it, I just wanted to let you guys know it's not every day that an American soldier defects to North Korea, right? But, yeah. Other than that, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, follow me on Rumble. And until next time, True Crime King, out.